It is exactly 6:02. Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting to order. We'll start off with roll call.
Anthony Oresti present.
Esmeralda Solis present.
Nereida Cantu present.
Mary Hernandez present.
Roberto Zamora present.
And Alex Cantu present. I do declare a quorum. Can we please raise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation, 30 seconds of silence.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we stand for 30 seconds? Thank you. Moving on to item number 5, public comments. We do have one public comment, and this is from La Jolla AFT. And Ms. Brenda, you can step forward. You know the process. Go ahead. We're good. You may begin when ready.
All right. Good evening, Board President, Board Trustees, Mr. Gonzalez, Administration, and community members. Mr. President and Board Trustees, tonight, we trust that the lack of communication among you will be put aside for the sake of our students. The district would not exist if it were not for all our amazing students, and that is 22,837 precious jewels. Therefore, it's your duty and responsibility as leaders to show our students and community that you care and will make the right decisions for a better future for all our students, school employees, and our family district. Whether you agree or disagree with your fellow board members, we ask that you have an open dialogue on the discussion of applications and decision on the terms of the superintendent's contract in an open session for transparency. Our stakeholders and everyone viewing this board meeting should listen to the process of all 7 board members, fully engaged in their decision and discussion in hiring and naming a new superintendent, or make a fair and impartial governance decision to take no action tonight. We are not questioning or voicing our concern regarding needing a permanent leader. We know that we do. But we know that it is your legal duty to hire an impartial, highly qualified leader who will not ask about employees' political affiliations, a leader that will walk the talk, a humble leader, not a leader that uses scare tactics. Furthermore, if the state intervenes and appoints a board of manager and a new superintendent, we will be faced with a buyout that will not be in the best interest of our district. As the elected board, you will define your commitment, your loyalty, and love to our students and our dear community, depending on your actions, and vote on this agenda item. And for the record, our interim superintendent is making approximately $35,356 a month. And by law, if a superintendent is hired and then fired, the superintendent's settlement will be a 1-year salary costing our district approximately $435,000 a year, in addition to the newly appointed superintendent's salary. Now, can our district afford this after a $10 million salary cut was made to decrease the deficit? Our district should not be obligated to spend 1 cent, because every penny counts. The funding belongs to our students, education, teachers' resources. So, if faced with a contractual issue or issues due to your unethical decision-making tonight, we trust that your leadership skills will be put into good practice by making the right choice, and that is hiring a superintendent should not be done after the state intervention's final decision on August the 28th, not tonight. Thank you very much. Brenda Lee Salinas, proud La Jolla AFT president.
Thank you, Ms. Salinas. With that being said, I think you have just a quick report.
Just a quick report. We were able to begin a exciting new school year. Needless to say that our children's smiles were very, very energizing, and their spirits were high. As we visited elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools, we could say that La Jolla ISD is vibrant with academic vibrancy and fervency. Very, very few school districts that you could visit would have the vitality and the academic rigor and the teacher loyalty and support, administrative leadership that we have. From the boardroom to the classroom, it is evident that La Jolla ISD, more than ever, has been student-focused, data-driven, and results-oriented. I think that and believe with full conviction as a seasoned superintendent that this district has never, ever, the future of this district has never been brighter. And that's because leadership begins from this boardroom and to the classroom. We can say that from the superintendent's office, Mr. President, members of the board, members of the community, that our teachers have a platform to be listened to, that we're more than ever paying attention to teacher needs, that we're more than ever paying attention to administrator suggestions and opinions, that more than ever our cabinet has meaning and purpose, that leadership now means something. And I could only in gratitude and in humility say that I'm grateful to be a part of La Jolla ISD and grateful to report that students' needs are being prioritized and that every dollar this district is spending, whether it's in the classroom or whether it's in the field or in the court with volleyball or on the course with our cross-country runners or in the band halls, every dollar in our CTE program is following the students. So we can say we're being responsible. We're excited to report that we are in a new course of responsibility and accountability such that this district has never seen before in its history. Thank you.
Thank you. With that being said, it is...
Mr. President, I do have a few comments.
Okay, go ahead.
It's not on the agenda.
So everybody knows the primary role and responsibility, one of them, of a board is the selection and the evaluation of a superintendent. I have been disappointed, and I will communicate this tonight, that this board has never been fully engaged in making the decisions required to authorize the posting of the position, to authorize the timelines, and the remaining process. I just don't believe, in addition, and just listening to our public comments, that at this time we ought to be making a decision to employ a superintendent. We already have an agreement with our current interim, and I think that because of not engaging as we should have as a board in determining those factors that do go into play in selecting a superintendent, I am making a motion right now that we consider the process that has been used null and void, and that we just not act on that tonight.
The only problem that we're having is that this isn't an action item yet. And I do want to make it clear, and I think we have a specific and detailed timeline of how this superintendent search came about. And I will let legal explain the events that took place, the times, the dates, with a detailed outline of the process for a superintendent search.
And I will say this, you said we, and that we must be we, the board. Not you with the attorney, with the superintendent, but we, the board.
So, Mr. Board President, at this time, because at the place that we are on the agenda, I would advise that we go into closed session so we could have discussion on the items listed on the agenda in closed session, because technically we're still on public comments on the agenda.
Oh, okay. We don't want to violate any.
So I would advise that we go into closed session, move forward with our meeting, that I give the board advice, legal advice on the questions that they may have in closed session, and under personnel, if there's questions on the process, we can answer those as well. And just so the board is aware as well, having this discussion in open session is not advisable. Dr. Zamora and members of the board, applicants for the position of superintendent are confidential by law. So my advice is that we go have this discussion in closed session.
And before we
My
go
point-
into executive session, I do want to say that any discussion that we want to do afterwards, I'll make sure and I'll leave the floor on to everybody so that you all can come out and make your comments after executive session. But like you said, this is the law, and I wouldn't want to,
What is the
I want
law,
to make
sir?
sure we're following the law.
What is the law?
is-
What is the law that you're talking about?
Is there anything that you could discuss in open session concerning Dr. Zamora's allegations?
With respect to what, sir?
Whatever allegations he has.
My
He's talking about education.
Mine is
Go-
not an
I'm
allegation,
talking,
it is a
Dr. Zamora.
fact.
Give me a
This
second.
board has never been engaged as a board. There has
my
never
advice-
been an action item
my
brought to
advice-
this board.
My advice
that
at this
says-
point is we go into
Okay,
closed
okay.
session and have this discussion in closed session. And yes, it's under the Open Meetings Act, sir, that applicants for superintendent are confidential. The only person that is allowed to be disclosed is the loan finalist or loan finalists.
I wouldn't want to legitimize the process by participating in it when it has not been something that has been done accordingly.
I feel at this point, we move into executive session, and then we can come out and have these discussions as per legal. I need a motion
I make a
to,
motion to enter into executive session at 6:13.
at 6:13, I need a second.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. It is 8:04, and we're out of executive session. Okay, I need a motion to approve item 1 under personnel, employment of professional personnel.
So move.
I have a motion and a second.
I'll second.
I have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. And item number 2, employment of classified staff, paraprofessional personnel, and auxiliary personnel. I need a motion to approve.
So move.
I have a motion by Ms. Solis. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Dr. Cantu. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Item number 3, staff resignations, professional personnel, paraprofessional personnel, and auxiliary personnel. I need a motion to approve.
So move.
I need have a motion by Ms. Hernandez. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Dr. Cantu. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Under item number 4, let me read the item. Discussion and possible action regarding applications for superintendent and to name a lone finalist for superintendent of schools.
Mr. President, members of the board, and members of the community, just by point of clarification, the search for a new superintendent began on June 20th, 2023. The official posting and applications were done on the La Jolla ISD web page. The position was advertised from June 20th to August the 2nd. The board president then announced that the trustees had decided to extend the window for accepting applications during the board meeting held on July 26, 2023. On July 27th, the timeline of the superintendent search was posted on the La Jolla ISD webpage. A committee of trustees was invited on Monday, August the 7th. All trustees were invited to review all of the applications from Monday, August the 14th to Wednesday, August the 16th, 2023. I have the email dated Monday, August 14th, 2023 at 10:43 a.m. where all trustees were invited from August 14th, 2023 until Wednesday, August 16th, 2023 to review all the applications. We also have the job posting for the superintendent of schools that was posted on Tuesday, June 20th, 2023, where it describes the title, the qualifications, and also specifically identifies the application process, the deadline, the time starting at 11:59, July 19th, 2023. The anticipated start date was even provided of July 24th, 2023. Thereafter is when the deadlines was extended to invite further applications. Thank you, Mr. President.
Any questions? Do I have a motion to approve as discussed in executive session?
No.
Okay, I need a motion to name a lone finalist. Do I have a motion?
So move. Do we have to list the name? Okay. So I make a motion to list the lone finalist as Mr. Beto Gonzalez for superintendent of schools.
I have a motion. I need a second.
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed?
Nay.
We have one nay. Motion
And
carries.
abstain.
Before we move on, Mr. President, can we get
We have an abstention.
Hold on.
clarification from legal about what we had talked about?
Yes, Trustee Uresti, the question posed was whether this process followed, if it was a legal one, and the answer to that question is yes. All policies and all statutes were followed with respect to the posting of the position and to the selection of the loan finalists up to this point. Now, the next step is we have a 21-day waiting period in which I believe the board will have a meeting next week to give us direction on contract negotiation. Also, even prior to us getting to that meeting, we have been directed, the legal team has been directed to start off with a provision in the contract with the superintendent that if TA were to take over the district, there would be a limitation on damages to the school district with respect to a potential buyout in that case.
So the contract is for how long?
Right now, we don't have a contract.
Okay.
But
we do it, for how long would that be considered?
I wouldn't recommend more than a year.
Okay, and to clarify also, we will have a meeting to make sure, an item, to make sure that we all that agree with the contract that would be offered to Mr. Gonzalez, and that we were able to start the negotiations as well as up to date, all right?
Yes, sir. So that meeting, my understanding will be next week. It will be on the agenda so we could get direction as far as what our authority is to go and negotiate with the loan finalist. And then after the 21st day, we will have a meeting so the board could review that final draft and have any questions answered. And then at that point, if everybody is in agreement, it will be approved.
Okay.
And I would like to respond to what you said, sir, and I am not questioning what you're saying. The point that I made earlier about this board not being fully engaged in the process stands. We never came together as a board to make the decisions related to the process. That we followed a process, yes, but as a board coming together, we did not.
Since we're on
Thank you.
that topic, you're done, Dr. Zamora?
Yes, ma'am.
Since we're on that topic, I wanted to make a statement as well. I know there was an article that was put out by the Monitor, according to the Monitor, the 3 minority board members that are currently on our board made a statement pretty much saying that, I just want to make a statement to let everybody know that everything that we were advised or just myself, what I was advised as a board member was the same information that was given to every other board member that's sitting here. So I just want to make that clarification, because to me it was very disheartening to see that article come out and the way it was addressed, because it was addressed to the community as if though the rest of the board members were fully engaged and those 3 particular board members that are mentioned in that article were not. And that is not the case, and those are not the facts. So I just needed to make sure that I came out and I said that, because it's been bothering me. And if it's bothering me, I'm assuming that other people that have read the article feel the exact same way. So I just want everybody to know that the same information that was provided to myself, and I would say Dr. Cantu, Mr. Cantu, and Mr. Uresti, is the exact same information that was provided to any of the other board members that we all sit here. And my only concern with that is, and the only reason that it bothered me as a board member, is because as a colleague, I would expect that if you don't know, that you at least pick up the phone and call either one of us to find out to whether or not we were informed, or we were informed of something that you were not. So by that being said, I just wanted to make that clear, that we were all informed with the same information. And I think our legal just said right now that we did not go around with everything was done legally, and the timeframes and everything was done accordingly. So I just needed to make that statement and make sure that everybody understood.
And I think that just provides further support to my statement that we were not fully engaged, whether it was just the minority or the board as a whole.
Okay, we
Thank
need
you.
to move forward as a district. I have a motion, I have a second. I have a 5-1 vote. I do want to take this time to also express that as a board president, I have always, in the last couple, 2, 3, 4 meetings, I have clearly stated that out of the essence of transparency, I invite all board members to our agenda reviews to make sure that there is transparency when it comes to any item. Now, I get calls left and right on things, petty things, from all board members, yet, we're only as engaged as we want to be. And you know what? The district is moving in the right direction. I do want to congratulate Mr. Beto Gonzalez for being named lone finalist. We know that there's a lot of work ahead of us, but at the end of the day, we know that he's the right person to lead the district in the direction that we need, and he's going to do what's best for our entire community, for our staff, and most important, our children. That's what we're here for. Thank you all. I do need there's no items or no pending items on item 5 or 6, am I right? No action. No action on item 5 or 6. So with that being said, I do need a motion to adjourn at 8:14.
So moved.
I have a motion by Ms. Solis. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Oresti. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, meeting adjourned at 8:14.